One storyline in particular we should also follow up on, an incident in the race here this weekend involving Connor Jones and Matt Mills. You see Matt Mills credited, of course, for the last place finish. Connor Jones went on to finish 25th. Mills was hospitalized after the contact with Connor Jones, only was released here today, and released a video updating everyone on his condition. And we have that here for you. This is what Matt Mills posted to X/Twitter this morning here. Take a look.
Hey everybody, glad to be out of the hospital. Still a little raspy, as you can hear, but just all the overwhelming support and text messages I've got just mean so much to me. It definitely didn't like being in the hospital as long as I was, or being in that situation. So having you guys there to support me and help me get through that, just can't thank y'all enough. I can't wait to be back at the racetrack, Martinsville, this weekend, and continue doing what I love. It's definitely a scary situation I've had, but it's just part of the sport. And thanks to NASCAR medical team and everyone at the hospital, and just everyone at the Nice Motorsports and JF Electric for continuing to support me and get through this tough deal. Means a lot, and I'm more motivated than ever to keep doing my job. And we got 2 more races to try and get a good finish and get some momentum for that 2025 year. So just ready to get home, get cleaned up, and just continue the recovery process, and see y'all in Martinsville.
All right, I was slightly off there. It was actually this afternoon, technically, I guess this morning for everybody on the West Coast, but 12:36 p.m. Matt Mills sent that video out on his X/Twitter account. This just came in a few hours ago from Nice Motorsports. Matt Mills has been released from Jackson South Medical Center as of Monday, October 28th, and has safely returned home to North Carolina. Mills, driver of number 42 from Nice Motorsports, was transported and held for observation after an incident in Saturday's NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race at Homestead Miami Speedway. Once again, Matt and the entire Nice Motorsports organization would like to thank the track safety crews, NASCAR medical staff, and everyone at Jackson South Medical Center for the care provided. Now, Connor Jones also released a statement after the incident. This is what he had to say. I have not yet had a chance to personally apologize to Matt for the incident that took place during today's race at Homestead Miami Speedway, but I intend to do so. Matt and I have encountered several on-track incidents this season, and I let my frustration get the best of me. I underestimated the impact my actions would have on Matt, and I deeply regret the consequences that followed. I would like to extend my sincerest apologies to Matt, Nice Motorsports, NASCAR, and my entire ThorSport Racing team for my unsportsmanlike behavior. My thoughts are with Matt during this time after hearing that he has been taken to the hospital for further evaluation following the contact on the racetrack. That's signed from Connor Jones. Brandon, what's your reaction to the incident, the aftermath? Matt Mills being hospitalized. Great to see him, of course, released here this afternoon. And do you think that this just goes back to the culture problem that we've talked about in this show before, with these young drivers not recognizing the impact and consequences that their actions might have?
Yeah, I think it stems exactly back to that same topic. And for some, it doesn't take believing that warning is real until they actually almost kill somebody to finally go, oh, maybe I should, not do that. So again, we're not race car drivers, but outside looking in, you can see that sort of that type of culture shift has been in the last decade or so taking hold in some of these younger crops of drivers that are coming in, and it's sort of being slowly accepted as commonplace or expected to either advance your position or to make your way into the postseason. But anytime a driver goes to the hospital, it's always a great sign, and always thankful to see that they come out and they're okay. Great to see that Matt Mills is fine. Also, just as good, if not better, to see Connor Jones to actually, stop and put up I know an apology is usually required by your, sort of forced by your team and your sponsors to keep everyone happy. But I hope that was truly genuine, and that hopefully it only takes one time to realize that you shouldn't do that, and we'll just leave it there. Hope that it only takes once there for Connor Jones, and of course not going to put that on his record forever. He's human, he's young, and we all do stupid things, but just thankfully for Connor Jones, he was able to get away with it this time, maybe as a warning that don't let it happen again.
Yeah, I heard some people, and again, the internet is always undefeated when it comes to this sort of thing. You really have to be careful who you get your sources from and who you trust and everything. But some people were saying that they ran it through an AI text generator or whatever, and found that it was like 100% likely that it was just an AI generated statement. And I don't want to speculate unless we have like hard positive proof or evidence there. I know that that technology can be as unreliable as AI sometimes. I do have to say it did feel like it was very PR crafted to an extent, especially the first paragraph there. So I do appreciate that he posted something and didn't just completely ghost everybody and remain silent there. But I do think it is a good reminder. And I'm not saying that he's completely blameless for the situation. Certainly he deserves to be held accountable for his actions out there. But I don't think it's a Connor Jones problem by any means. I think we saw it, quite frankly. There's that finale coming up again, Brandon, the Truck Series at Phoenix last year. We saw it with Carson Hocevar, and then again with Corey Heim retaliating. If somebody gets hit in the wrong spot or the wrong angle or the wrong way, you just never know what kind of impact can have. Or maybe sometimes it's not even the impact. It's the which sounds like it was the case with Matt Mills. It was inhaling the fumes and the smoke and everything from the damage that comes from the impact. You never know what can go wrong when you're playing these games at 150, 160 miles an hour, however fast they were going. Yeah. So again, I think it's a not so subtle wake up call, not just to Connor Jones, but to the entire Truck Series field, that as safe as these cars and trucks are nowadays, this is still a dangerous sport at the end of the day, and I think we have to keep that in mind. And I think what Joe is suggesting here in the chat, maybe isn't such a bad idea here. Connor Jones obviously isn't full time, but it might still be worth sitting him out for a race. And whether that comes from NASCAR or comes from ThorSport, I don't know off the top of my head what his remaining schedule is going to look like this year if he was slated to run Martinsville or Phoenix. But that might not be such a bad idea either. To show everybody that these actions can have consequences, and that could be on your part, having to sit out a race, or it could be, in the case of Matt Mills, actually injuring a driver and sending them to the hospital for a couple of days. And thankfully, Matt seems like he's doing as well as we could reasonably expect, and seems excited to get back to the track at Martinsville this weekend. So we're thankful that he dodged a bullet there, and it sounds like it could have been a lot worse than it was. So again, grateful to see him post that video this afternoon, and wishing him all the best. He continues on his recovery. Hopefully has a good run this weekend at Martinsville.
Yeah, and may Connor Jones be an example to some other drivers around the paddock that, how many times does it take for the sport to realize that your car is not a weapon to be used against somebody else? Who's also in a weapon. But yeah, also NASCAR, at that moment they had all the video evidence and everything. I not only should he be parked for the next race, he should have been parked for that race immediately. I don't know why he was on pit road for that limited amount of time and allowed to go back on the racetrack. That's beyond me from the start.
Yeah, well, and to be completely fair, I think 2 laps is certainly about as harsh as it gets without parking somebody for the remainder of the event. But I don't know why that wasn't an option here. In fact, I think it certainly was an option. We've seen it before. Drivers get parked for on-track behavior, and maybe they would have said that's as far as it's going to go. And I did just pull up the Martinsville entry list. I wanted to double check. I didn't know off the top of my head. The 66 for ThorSport is entered, and Connor Jones is listed as the driver. So at the moment, he will be at Martinsville this weekend as well. Matt Mills also on the entry list, which is good to see that confirmed after his hospital stay this weekend. So, again, hopefully it ends there. It's a lesson learned, and as you said, Brandon, these young drivers especially are human. They're going to make mistakes, and they're going to, perhaps fall into that culture trap that we've talked about here on this show about how the young drivers just see these massive accidents. They see drivers walk away all the time, and it kind of makes them feel invincible. And then something like this happens, and you recognize, maybe that's not necessarily the case. So, again, I think a good wake up call and reminder to everybody, especially the young ones, but also, as we saw with Matt Craft and Nick Sanchez last year, even the veterans, I think sometimes need a reminder that, what we're doing here is quite serious, and we shouldn't let it boil over to situations like that.
I'll take cues from the NFL here with all the socio-political things they want to push in recent years. It takes all of us. It does take all of us if you want that kind of culture to change.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's certainly, like I said, it's Connor Jones is an individual, and I don't think that he should get away scot-free with it. But again, I think when you have a culture situation like that, I think you're right, Brandon. It does take the entire field to recognize the dangers here, and that's the only way that you're going to make an impactful change on the culture in this sport, but particularly in Truck Series, which has come under quite a lot of scrutiny over the last couple of years in particular.
It's like a high school. Stomp out bullying. Just
Sure.
stop it.
Yeah, there you go.